What is going on, guys? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. So, guys, we have a summoning for Seer, and it's just for today. It was a one-day thing. Plarium just popped it out on us. So some of you may have pulled for her, and if you did, this is going to help you decide whether it was a good idea or not. Now, we do have a 10x coming on some other champions tomorrow. Poison Explosion champions, and Zavia being one of the best ones. So getting Seer is actually pretty huge for a lot of accounts, but she does need a little bit of setup, right? Most champions do. But I want to show you guys exactly how to build your Seer, what to look for in stats, and show you exactly what she can do when she's maxed out to her full potential with a 6-star Ascension. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we are, stage 10 of hard mode, right? Fire Knight. No buffs, no decreased defense, no weaken, no nothing. Just my Seer with a 6-star Awakening, right? And we're just going to see what she can do with her A3. Let's slow it down a little bit. So she was hitting for about 106,000. That is no buffs, right? That's pretty solid. Fire Knight is known to have some of the most difficult adds to take down, right? So let's now add a few little things into the mix, and let's bring in a decreased defense weaken with some buffs, right? So now we brought in our Lydia. Our Lydia does have a bolster set on, but with bolster, we are not going to be able to rip it off. So we're going to go ahead and go decreased defense and weaken with our Lydia. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 buffs for us to rip off with our Seer, right? Let's take a quick look here. And she one-shot every single ad. 400,000 damage across the board, right? That was now with just 4 buffs on her. It's pretty solid. Overall, Seer is one of the best wave clear champions out there, especially for early game. Now, again, remember, my Seer is fully 6-star awakened, so she is very, very strong, right? Now, it's going to actually be great for you pulling her, if you did pull her, for a lot of the dungeon comps, especially if you're early game, right? But again, she does need to have the buffs to rip off for her to be used to her max potential. For a fight like this, without being fully ascended, you're probably talking a full team of buffs across the board. So let's get into some arena play. All right, so we are currently in Plat Arena. Now, I'm just wanting to do a showcase. I don't want to actually try to push with her because she's not really viable for the build that I currently have. For her to be viable for this, we're talking a whole different build. Her speed needs to be at least 40 to 50 more than what it is. But I want to give you a grasp of, could you use her in lower arena levels, right? So in lower elos, can you use her in like gold 1, gold 2? So let's go ahead and take out this team, and we'll go Cardiel. And then where is our Sifi? Let's go hide that. No, sorry. I have my Sifi in the vault because she's built. Okay, so we're going to go up against this team. Now, I don't expect us to land any buffs, right? So we'll slow it down. A1, we'll hit the Death Knight because he's going to be the tankiest, so we can get a really good feel about the rest of the team. All right, now we're going to increase speed. Give ourselves some buffs there. We're going to go ahead and do that here. Now, full HP, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buffs almost on everybody. Can we one-shot this whole team? Not really. We came really close to the Helicath, really close to Pythion. Didn't even touch UDK, and Harima looked like she was wearing reaction. So not really going to help us out there, right? What you would really want for this is, again, lower gold elos will work fine, right? So let me show you exactly what you want to have her built like. All right, so how do you need to build your Seer? Well, there's a couple of different builds. The first thing is, whether you're going to pick accuracy or not, right? Most players tend to not pick accuracy because she doesn't need the buffs to strip off from her, but she does need the accuracy to strip off from everybody else. So it really depends on if you can fit it in the build or not. But the set that she's going to want to have, her best in slot set is going to be lethal, right? Basically, for any damage dealer, best in slot set is always going to be lethal. Cruel will also work as a 2-piece with her, but remember, stats over sets for her, right? Now, Savage will also work as well. and so will instinct. But we have ours built with a lethal protection and a single piece of perception. As for accessories, now the best in slot for her is actually going to be Blood Shield. Could you use anything else? Sure. Are they going to be as beneficial? No. Honestly, if you don't have Blood Shield, then just use a regular accessory, because anything else could essentially mess up your speed tune, right? And speed tuning is the #1 thing, especially with Seer, because she is dependent on doing the damage based off the buffs. So, how do we have her built? Well, HP wise, we don't really care, right? If we can get some tankiness put in her, that's perfectly fine. We'll take it. If not, it is what it is. Most of the runs, when you're trying to speed run anyways, when you get to the last boss, you just want her to die, right? Attack, we're not going to really care for, right? It doesn't really help us. We're not building her as a nuker. Her A3 Karma Burn has nothing to do with attack. It's all based off of enemy max HP and how many buffs she has. Now, as for defense, again, if you can fit it in the build, go for it. If not, you know, it is what it is. Speed-wise, we have her built at 200 speed. This is going to depend on what kind of speed tune you are using her with, right? So if, you know, she's the last in your turn order, which should be the case, you know, you want to make sure that she has less speed than your debuffer, always, right? One of the things to take into account is if you take a particular mastery that increases your speed for every enemy you kill, that can mess up your speed tunes, so make sure you have that into account, right? Crit rate, you're going to want to be at 100%, right? The moment she's not a champion, you can build a 70% crit rate, because the moment she strips those buffs off, she goes back down to 70, right? Even if it's 30% crit rate, it's not going to help you. So built her with 100%. As for crit damage, you want to stack it up as high as possible. We have ours at 357, right? That is pretty solid. Now, as for resistance, we don't really care for, and accuracy, here's where I said, well, if you need some, you can put some in. If you're finding yourself in Doom Tower where, you know, you don't have one of those speed farming teams and you are using Seer and your enemy has a lot of buffs up, you could put some accuracy on her, right? Not something I really push for, because, you know, I'd rather just go first, get the decreased defense, weaken off if we can, and then just nuke the waves. Bring in enough buffs for yourself, as you saw, depending on how many blessings you have, she can one-shot the waves, right, with minimal efforts. I think the only thing she might not be able to one-shot is a Rotos because of his passive. As for skill-wise, what do you want to book? Well, the only one you really care about booking is the A3, and that's only because it comes down on a 4-turn cooldown. Now, if you don't care about the cooldown, which you probably should, then you don't need to book her, right? She can work great without the books. You just have to wait for her to turn around to that cooldown faster. Blessings-wise, what do you want? When you get to higher end stages, anything over 4, you're going to want to take Crushing Rend. Anything under 4, especially if you're using it for Fire Knight, you're going to want to take, what is it called? Phantom Touch, right? And that's just for Fire Knight. In general, if you have at least 3 to 4, I would definitely go with, what is it called again? Where do we go? Crushing Rend, right? As for masteries, here's where, you know, you can kind of tweak the masteries to what you need. And now, when you're early game, you're going to want to take Flawless Execution. As you start moving into late game and end game, where your gear is a little more well developed, where your account is a little more well developed, you're going to want to actually switch it to Helm Smasher, because if you're using it to farm like stage 25 Fire Knight, she will do extra damage there, right? It does work well. You could even possibly take War Master depending on what you want, but Helm Smasher will actually give you the best of both worlds, where it'll still help you out with the ads and still help you out with the boss, right? Other masteries you want to take into account are going to be Whirlwind of Death. Now, again, this is where I said you need to make sure that you're speed tuned properly, right? So if you have her like me that's running at 202 speed, if she kills the 3 enemies, the next wave, she's going to be at 220 speed. So you want to make sure that your debuffer is at least 1 speed higher than that, right? You'll find yourself, oh my gosh, why are my runs failing? Because you have this mastery and you didn't take that into account, right? That goes across the board for every damage dealer. One you're going to want to take is Ruthless Ambush, right? Increasing the damage on the first hit on each enemy. 8%, quite a bit, right? You saw that when we were going against the Fire Knight team, or the Fire Knight ads, we were hitting them for about 400,000. Granted, we have a high blessing, but that does help, right? Other ones you're going to want to take are Kill Streak, right? Increases the damage inflicted by 6% in arena and 3% in all other locations in the game. For each enemy killed by the champion in battle, stacks across all battles, stacks up to 12, right? That is definitely going to be a helper. Now, for the support tree, there's a few different ones you can take. If you're going to build it with accuracy, then you can take Sniper or Master Hexer. It really depends up to you. I would say Master Hexer would work out best, right? Now, if you're, lacking the crit rate and you're lacking the speed and stuff, depending on the sets that you're using, you could always take Lore of Steel, right? I took Evil Eye because when you farm with her in stage 20 of the dungeons, or 25, it does come in quite handy. Now, masteries you're going to want to avoid. You don't want to take Cycle of Magic, right? It'll mess up the speed tune. Rapid Response, same thing. It'll mess up the speed tune. Arcane Celerity, same thing. It's going to mess up the speed tune, right? You could take Swarm Smiter, you could take Charge Focus, and you could take Point of Accuracy. Or Pinpoint of Accuracy, sorry. But yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell how your Seer. Am I having one of the strongest ones? Probably. I mean, you saw how easy it was for her to take down the ads. She has fallen off a bit on the meta since hard mode dungeons came out. Can she still work for most of the dungeons? Of course, everything but Fire Knight. She is still going to be 100%. She can be used in your hard mode 10 spider team. She can use in your Ice Golem hard mode team there. She can even be used in your dragon team, right? It really depends on how well you have her built, but she can nuke the waves down. She is phenomenal in Doom Tower, taking down those waves, wave after wave after wave. You don't even have to worry about it. The only thing, again, you would ever have to worry about is the Rhodos, right? Because of his passive. He is the only one you won't be able to one-shot. So, let me know, did you guys pull for her, right? Was she worth your 40 shards? For me, if I was early enough and I had the shards, yes. Would I be buying shards? Absolutely not. Eventually, your account will get one. And I know some people are going to say, well, I've been playing for 2 years and I don't have one. Or I've been playing for a year and I don't have one. It's RNG, right? RNG legends. What can we say? I've been playing for years and there's champions that I still don't have a Hegemon, right? Again, let me know in the comments down below what you guys are doing. I'm very interested to hear. Do expect to get some more guides on her with speed farming some of these teams. Now that we have this event out, granted it was only 24 hours, I will be doing some guides with this. I will be putting some more speed farming runs out. Mostly I hesitated because I just didn't want everybody saying I don't have a Seer. So now that you had your chance to get a Seer, we could change things up. But we still have the Chronom giveaway being done, so make sure you leave a comment below to be entered in for that. And as always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.